Hello, I'm Jose, and this is the Cinematic Dogma podcast. I'm joined, as every week, by my... It sounds like you also have a good boy there, Blake.
Hi, Jose. I'm happy to be here, and I brought two special guests. They're both very, very good boys.
Are they?
They're not being
now?
good boys, but theoretically, they are.
In a spirit.
Sometimes I tell them they're good boys.
Okay. So, and what did we watch for celebrating this happy good boy reunion?
You picked a movie that stars a dog, but is a horror movie, Jose. And it's called Good Boy. And it stars a dog.
And it's a good boy. Or not. We will discuss about it.
It was a stressful movie.
Yeah, as dog owner, yeah, I bet that it was like, is the fucking dog going to die? But yeah, this was my pick. And the reason why I pick it is because this movie has been like at least for 6 months being rumored. Basically, it's like in social media everywhere I have been like hearing mentions about it, like a horror movie with a dog starring like the most adorable dog ever, to the point that it became viral before no one even saw anything from the movie. Just the concept became viral, to the point that this was going to have like a super limited release. And it became like a national release in many, many, many more theaters than they
Just
expected.
because the dog is so beautiful?
Well, because of the concept. I just think that the concept is pretty simple, no? But because we live in 2025, where people values dogs almost more than kids, not sorry, is like there was like way much more buzz around it. Imagine that this was a movie about a toddler. No one would care.
Yeah, I don't. No, I didn't.
So I was extremely curious about it, to the point that thinking that it's like this is going to be like forgotten even before it gets released. And 2 weeks ago I saw the trailer, and I think that I told you that it's like this is actually out. It has become a real movie. So I guess that we need to watch it.
Yeah. Well, I saw the trailer for the first time maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I just remember it was the first time I had heard anything about it. And it looks an awful lot like the dog is going to suffer and perhaps die from the trailer. And I thought, there is no way an American studio invested millions of dollars into a movie where a dog might die, because American audiences won't pay for that.
But the budget of this movie is less than 1 million. It's an
No
indie film.
way.
Yes, everything is possible when it's an indie movie. But this was my pick, so I guess that you have to summarize it.
I can do my best. This is not a complicated film at all. So the film's protagonist, the hero, the good boy of the film Good Boy, is Indy. The most beautiful dog, well, the third most beautiful dog I know, because the two most beautiful are here in this room with me. But Indy is a Nova Scotia duck tolling retriever. He is actually part of the family of, I think, the two producers of the film. And the film is shown from Indy's point of view, not in kind of a gimmicky way, but the camera's kind of, lower at Indy's level. And so we just see almost everything from his point of view. Indy is owned by Todd. Todd is a young man, I would say mid to late 20s, who clearly has some sort of chronic disease. He's in and out of hospitals, and he seems to live in what I think is New York City, but I can't remember if they say it or not, but he lives in a big city. And he has a sister there who's clearly concerned about him. I don't think we meet her, at least early on in the film. But we witness his communications with her via cell phone, but he kind of withdraws from her. And at some point after he's released from his most recent hospital stay, he packs up his apartment and he moves to his grandfather's cabin that has been empty since his grandfather passed away. And his grandfather's cabin is out.
And it's supposed to be haunted.
Yes, so this cabin is haunted. Supposedly his grandfather lived there until the haunting more or less killed his grandfather. His grandfather lived here with his own dog, and Todd has moved there with Indy to... Again, we see this from Indy's perspective, so we more or less only overhear parts of conversations from Todd. There's not a ton of just pure conversations we're getting. But basically it seems like Todd has moved here to see the rest of his life through. At least that's what we're guessing. And things start to get very weird, especially for Indy. And honestly, I don't know how much further we should take this. This movie is just in theaters. It is a scary film, so I don't want to do any spoilers, to be honest.
Yeah, we can just say that the dog, since they arrive, he starts perceiving things in the house.
He perceives very scary things, and he's trying to protect Todd from some real perceived threats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I think that we can stop there. We may have a spoiler tag later, but for the time being, it's this is on the cinema, so let's just leave the experience to people to watch it as is. So, did you like it?
I did like this quite a bit, actually. I thought it was very well done. I thought seeing things from the perspective of the dog, again, had the risk of being gimmicky, but it wasn't. I didn't look at the rating of the film, not the critics' rating, but the, R, PG-13, whatever. I just assumed it was rated R because it was a horror film. But, after 20 or 25 minutes, I realized that it was a little bit more family friendly. And I realized I was hoping it stayed that way because it felt so nice to not have to worry about gore or really terrifying ghosts or anything. Yeah. I was like, I wanted to stay in this kind of nice mood that it's stayed in. And it did. And it managed to stay equally creepy as hell and emotionally impactful in its story, and I really liked it. It was very, very stressful towards the end for me as a dog owner, and it jerked at my heartstrings. Is that how you say the idiom?
Yeah.
Particularly at the end. I am gonna give a disclaimer here that you said the studio put out a while ago that the dog does not die. I think that's an important thing to know for anybody thinking about seeing this film. I don't think that's a spoiler. I think that's just important to know. Are you taking a note? Is that a spoiler? I just think people should know that. Nobody should go into this film thinking the dog's going to die.
I know of other movies that they have done it in the past, because it's something super trigger for people with pets, but it's I don't know if this specific one did it.
There was a moment in the film, towards the end, where I was like, this fucking dog's going to die. If Jose lied to me, I'm going to be so upset. So anyway, I'm rambling. I really liked it. It was a challenging film to watch towards the end, but I really enjoyed the experience, to be honest.
Yeah. No, the director actually disclosed.
Okay.
In interviews, previous to the release of the movie, is that the dog doesn't die.
Good. Did you like it, Jose, as a non-dog owner?
I love the dog. The dog is adorable. It's like, I sorry for your dogs, but it's like I can be more unbiased as I don't own any dog. That dog is really adorable, you know. Um, I like it from the craft perspective. Is that I don't know if you stayed, and this is not a spoiler, but after the end of the movie, is that they have like super short credits because this was basically done by a couple, like husband and wife, and their dog, and they had like a bit of help, but beyond that, it was 3 years of shooting this movie with their dog. So at the end of those 3 minutes credits, there is like a 5 minute documentary, and they explain how they did like
Oh,
most
no
of the
way. I
takes.
didn't see it. That's cool.
Because most people actually left the theater. So it's like we were just talking about the movie, about like, oh, that dog is adorable. What do you think about it? Blah blah blah. And at that point, they start like the director with the dog. They start like just talking about like how they made the movie, and it's like it's a it's a project. It's like it's something that I could have seen that is like this would have been a sort for a film student if it was like a bit more narrow, but it's like this. It has this flavor of indie of our like the idea from a cinematography perspective, from no cinematography on how it was shot, but more like from how it was made, is very unique. Most of these movies that they have dogs, cats, whatever, they tend to have 30 dogs and they train every single dog for doing one thing. This dog was never really trained for being in a movie. He was just being himself. And they only repeated every single take 50 times for just getting the right reaction.
And they get the right reaction every time, from like being terrified to looking loving. It's incredible.
I don't know if you captured that, but this is an example of Soviet montage. There is not a single scene, or there is one maybe, where you have like whatever is scary and indie at the same time on the screen. So they just put indie looking in a direction and then just look at the camera and you infer that indie is scared, or you infer whatever feeling. Is that the dog didn't do anything different. The only thing is like it's a dog, and they said it on the interview, well, on that mini documentary. It's like the dog, they're lucky that is super serious. It's not a dog that is like with the tongue out all the time or playing around. It's like, nope, he's just serious. He just sits there and that's it. And that works like pretty well exactly for the type of movie that they're trying to do. So for me, it's like knowing like the smoke and mirrors in there is like it actually displays more and more that it's like this is a project that it took a lot of effort, but it's an indie movie with a narrow story that sometimes makes no fucking sense, and it's just like the vehicle of hey, I think that we could use our dog for doing a horror movie, and they did with a lot of love and craft for the medium and the dog.
But how is that different than any other movie?
That is two people spending 3 years of their lives with their dog doing this movie.
But
So if you think about let's just put Airbud, the movie of the dog that becomes a basketball player. No?
Yeah.
There was someone that brought a script that they thought that is like, hey, it could be cute to have a dog doing all of these things. And then you have a team that actually just turned that into a reality. It was like a more classic film type of movie. They didn't want to do like the experiment of hey, we're only using one dog and close to zero special effects. The only special effects that it's more or less blatant that they use is that a scene where there is another dog. That is like, pretty sure that those two dogs were not in the same room.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
sorry, no spoilers.
No spoilers. Yeah. But what I mean is like I have a hard time like detaching this as a personal project, an indie film, and just like a movie in itself. It has its merit. Don't get me wrong. But for me, it's like it has more merit than quality.
I guess I just don't see the distinction. Like we recently watched and reviewed. Oh my God, the Coen brothers film. Oh, Barton Fink. That was just a personal project. That it's a Coen brothers film that just filled up time while they were working on a separate project.
Sure, but it was like a movie project. Is that they didn't spend 3 years recording it in the hardest type of way, and it's more about like the end product. Is that this movie? I'm not going to be like spoiling a lot when you start poking into the very, very, very minimal script that it has. A script from the perspective of a story that happens. It makes no sense.
Yeah,
Even as a horror enthusiast, is like for me is that hey, this is an excuse for just making a movie with their dog, and it's a hard thing to make, and they succeeded in doing that.
I just don't see the distinction about the motivations and why it differs. People make movies for all sorts of different reasons.
No, okay, let me just differentiate. There is hey, you may be doing it for whatever you want, and this is a result. For me, is that this is from a story perspective, a bit of a sloppy story. That is like the saving grace for me is like the dog is adorable and it has a lot of merit. Like just doing this with this amount of resources. And it's like I find it enjoyable because the dog is enjoyable. But if instead of a dog this was a CGI, there wouldn't be any saving grace here. It's more like because I know like the level of effort that it went into it.
So they didn't use any CGI for the dog's face ever? Because there are moments when that dog is so absurdly beautiful. It's like insane.
Yep, the dog is absurdly beautiful. I agree.
My God.
There is no CGI there.
That's just... And so in that documentary, was the dog exceptionally well trained? Or was it just camera magic that they were able to like capture?
Just camera magic. Yep, it's camera magic. It's like it's not a trained dog for doing any of that. So that's the part of the film is like they have everything is smoke and mirrors. It's that most of the time is that you don't see them, but it's like the director and his wife in the same room when he starts like just looking left and right is that it's because they are in both places of the room screaming at the dog at different points for just capture his attention. So it's incredible like the level of effort that they put into doing this. From that is that they have all of my respect. But from an end result perspective of the movie in itself is like meh, it's okay.
Interesting. I thought some of the are these people not filmmakers? I thought some of the like framing shots were so deeply beautiful, especially coming from the dog's perspective.
I think that he did some sorts, the director, but I think that is more about like the ingenuity and creativity. It reminds me a bit of the, when we watched The Thing and we said that it's like, hey, these were practical special effects. Is that they created like something way beyond what they should have been able to create. Is that in this case they did this with basically a budget of zero because that's even their house.
I was just going to ask, that was actually where they live, is that house?
Yeah.
It's a creepy-ass house.
Yeah, it's a creepy-ass house because they decorated it that way and the takes that they think. But it's like most of the shooting is during daytime because they say it's like the dog is not going to be acting at midnight. It's like, so it's at daytime and we use filters for actually turning everything into dark.
Yeah, when you have an outside cellar, that just spells horror film to me.
Yeah, is that you bought a house with this idea of just shooting a horror movie or a short eventually. Yeah. So it's not that it's bad or that I didn't like it. It's more of I see it as the sum of its parts, and it's not more than it.
Did you find it entertaining at least?
Yeah, I had a good time watching it. Yeah.
Well, if you didn't particularly like the movie, at least it's mercifully only 77 minutes. And I don't know if that includes the 5-minute documentary.
I'm not sure about that, but yeah, I mean, time flies, but there is already the answer. It's like, could this have been a short? It's like, yes, it feels like
It
a
probably
short.
is a short.
Yeah, probably they did this like a concept of 5 minutes, and then it's like, do you think that we will be able to pull this as a 1 hour movie?
I think you can stream it right now on AMC Plus.
Oh, you can?
I
really?
think that's
Okay.
what I read online.
Oh, well.
If you can, I'll check it out and see if we can watch that, or see if I can watch that documentary after, because I really want to see more of that dog. I just want to play with that dog.
It's adorable. It's incredibly adorable, honestly. But yeah, the guy is what it says. Is like, we were lucky that this dog is chill. Is that there are like many dogs out there that they wouldn't be like just staying still for more than 30 seconds. And
Did
this guy is
they-
like, yeah, they can be there, sitting there, and just stay.
In the documentary, did they mention, was there terminal illness in any of their real lives, or was that just a plot device?
Yeah, it was a plot device.
Good, because I can't stand when people use art to work through real terminal illness. Ugh. It's too
That's
heavy.
fair. Yeah, that's fair. Here, I think that it was basically like, we have an adorable dog, we have this idea, let's make it happen.
They're gonna make so much money off this. Who did go ahead.
No, what I was going to say is that they may definitely much, much more than they anticipated at the beginning. But one thing, there was a point in the movie, I think that is like when the illusion like broke down for me, that I was saying like, oh, I'm interested to see what they would do. But then like towards the end of the movie, it's like, I'm not. This is not like the directors of Swiss Army Man and Everything Everywhere All at Once, that is like, oh, they are creative guys. You may like them or not, but it may be interesting whatever they produce later. For me, it's like, I don't think that there is too much here beyond, you got this dog, work with him for 3 years, and use the right camera angles as to make me interested on what you may do next.
Oh, I just meant in terms of, I'm sure if they spent $750,000 on this, they're going to make more than that this weekend.
Oh, yeah, definitely yes. I mean, it's already box office at this point on the Wikipedia, and that may change, is 7 millions. It's a 10-time return.
Damn, IFC made a good investment.
Yep. I mean, I think that they are the producers, so it's like they probably made a significant chunk of money here. They can buy a new house for the dog.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Not a dog house that is red and black and a dog sits on top of it.
Well, I went to a pet store here in San Francisco today, and I bought 4 rawhide bones and two freshly baked dog treats, and it was $44. So I need to make a movie and sell it so I can afford to buy my dog treats.
I mean, you have 2 dogs. How hard can it be to just record a movie with them?
Apparently not that hard, just 3 years, and
And a lot of patience. A lot of patience.
my dogs aren't talented though, so
Yeah. Because they were saying that it's like, maybe some days we may get 5 seconds of shooting only. About like, oh, we can get that scene that it was 5 seconds. That is the dog staying there and moving on this direction.
did they show in the documentary at all? So there's a scene in the movie where the dog is hiding under the bed because he's scared somebody is walking up the stairs, and he backs up under the bed. I was curious how they filmed that.
No. Yeah. That one I also was afraid. No, I assume that probably what happened is like they just get the camera close to him and the dog like naturally like just throws back. But probably they had to repeat it 30 times for the dog to just like walk back exactly on that way.
How interesting. I mean, it makes total sense. So the film, if I'm reading this correctly online, it premiered at South by Southwest, and when you see this film, you're like, yes, this is absolutely a festival film. Like, and so it makes total sense for South by Southwest.
Yeah, but an indie film. An indie film about like an idea.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, let's go over the questions before we spoil anything explicitly. That probably implicitly we gave away a lot. So Blake, would you watch Good Boy again?
I don't think that I would. It was a little so the themes they explore are just a little bit too heavy for pure entertainment, and I know what the film is at this point, so I wouldn't watch it again.
Yeah. For me, it's not so much about like I dislike it to a point that I don't want to watch it. It's most like I don't think that I could be getting anything more out of this movie.
Yep.
It gave me what it had to give me. I'm not going to avoid it actively, but I'm not going to pursue it either. So, whatever. Would you recommend it?
I think so. Yeah, especially with Halloween coming up. Yes, and especially to children.
To children, that's interesting because when we finished the movie, there was a father with the son walking away, and I was like, "Is this kid friendly?"
I mean, not so. When I say children, I'm not talking about like 8-year-olds, but I'm saying like 12-year-olds. Sure, like this is a good movie to take your preteens to Halloween. It's scary. But it's not gory. It's
a PG-13 movie.
Yeah.
So I think that I would recommend it if people that they like animals, especially dogs, and they like horror. I think this is a very easy recommendation because you're going to be like connecting at a personal level. Would you remember it?
Let's say yes. Haunted house dog. There.
Okay, if we reduce it only to that, yes, I would go with yes. But the thing is, like, I think that my brain is going to forget about this in 2 months.
The whole film altogether?
The whole film, that I even watch it.
Yeah,
and honestly, I was really, really excited about it. But it's like after watching it, I felt it's like there is not much here.
It's not like that impactful. I can see what you say, but I mean, how many films do you see that star dogs in general? I accept your answer of no for you. Mine is still yes.
There is every couple of years there is a couple of them of movies that they are starred by dogs.
Can you give me an example that's not claymation?
Airbud. No, but there was
okay. That was 30 years ago. So
no, but I'm trying to remember. There was one that basically is like a whole voice-over narration of the dog from a couple of years ago or 3 years ago. Let me see. A Dog's Purpose.
A Dog's Purpose?
Yes. From what year was this one? Because I remember seeing this trailer 2017. It was more years ago.
This sounds. Oh, does the dog die with Dennis Quaid?
Yeah, so there has been like older movies.
No. You're right.
Yeah, so I'm not saying that they're good. Maybe this is like.
I think I do try to avoid these because they tend to die in these. I don't know if the dog dies in A Dog's Purpose, but I just avoid these because of that fear.
Yeah. Oh, there is. You know about Hachi, the Japanese dog from Japan?
I've never seen it. My husband said that he saw that movie and cried for like 3 days. He didn't tell me what happens in the film, but I just made an assumption and I will not watch it.
Okay. I don't know if the dog dies, but you know that there is a statue of that dog in Tokyo.
Yes, I do. It's
you know
very
the story.
sad.
Yeah,
Wait,
it's
is
very
it the
sad.
one where the dog waits at the train station every day?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's horrible.
But it's nice, no?
It's very nice, but it's just so sad that poor dog is just waiting.
Okay. Yeah. So yes, there are other movies. So from that perspective, it's like I don't think that my brain is going to be like remembering this movie at any level. Besides, there was a dog, and it was about the dog.
So I'm
But until I don't
putting
watch
a
a trailer,
calendar invite. So your best guess is 3 months from now. So January, let's
next
say
year,
February
yep.
1.
2026
I'm
is like,
gonna
when they
ask you.
say just it's like the 1st of January. Just ask me. It's like, do you remember anything about last year? It's like I will tell you many things. I won't tell you goodbye.
Do you remember that you watched a movie that stars a dog? And you'd be like, no, not in
Did
2025. I remember
Yeah.
A Dog's
Airbud?
Purpose. I remember A Dog's Purpose with Dennis Quaid, but there was not another movie with this sort of dog.
Come on, is that dog looks adorable in A Dog's Purpose too, and
does,
probably was
it
15
does.
different dogs, At least this has the merit that it was one dog. They could only afford one dog for doing this movie. Okay, let's move on. Is there anything artistic about it?
Yes, I think that dog is a work of fucking art. So that's one thing. I do think the way it was shot is gorgeous. I think the special effects, I think, were really good. Let's call the stuff related to the haunting. I had no idea this was so low budget. I'm not talking about the stuff related to the dog. I'm talking about things we haven't talked about. Yes, yes.
Okay, I'm going to go with yes because of the dog first, and second about like the shooting, like being smart for hey, we're going to be like shooting everything at the level of the dog, so it's that you connect in an emotional level with the dog. So I felt like that hey, this is smart. I don't know if I would say that is beautiful, but it's like artistically, like as the medium in itself, I thought that it's like there is a lot of love to the craft.
There you go.
So, yep. Is it a timeless piece?
Yeah, there's nothing that, even if you liked the film less like you, there's nothing that like roots it into a time or an issue. Yeah, this is timeless.
Yeah, it's timeless. There is like some cell phones that they could use, VHS, tapes, but yeah, it's timeless. It's about like the love of a man for his dog and horror.
Right.
Would you turn this into a TV show?
No, nothing about this makes sense to stretch out longer.
Yeah, I think that this is enough with the 1 hour and 10 minutes or 20 that it lasts. Could this have been a short, though?
I think so. I mean, just one or two less times coughing up blood could have been. Yeah, I mean, it's not like there's a ton of bloat. It's only 77 minutes, but they could have cut some things down. Yeah, it could have been 60 minutes or less.
Yeah, and it's like pretty easy. You can identify that it's like, oh, there are like several repetitions of patterns or scenes within that I feel is that if you remove this would have been a short, and that's the reason why there is so much padding here.
Yep.
And finally, do you think that this movie could have been better?
Well, they could have had a second dog. That would have been cool.
Sure, more dogs.
Yeah, this was by no means a perfect film. There's plenty of opportunities to improve, I think. Yes, this could have been better.
Yeah, I'm going to go with yes. I think that yes, it's hard to shoot with a dog, and probably you wouldn't have been able to create more complex scenes. But I think that all of the human drama could have been better written. So, whatever. It's like it's what
fair.
it is. Yeah. And I think that they were all of the questions. So we have to score it. And as it was my pick, you have to score it first.
I'm going to go with a 6.
With a 6? Oh, wow. I'm surprised. I thought that you liked it much more.
I liked it quite a bit. I don't think it's like an exceptional. It's not like La Ventura, but I still
Yeah, but
think
that's a
it's like a
10.
good film. It's an entertaining
Okay.
film.
Okay.
Should I have given it higher?
I don't know. I mean, my score is a 6 too, because I feel like, hey, it's decent. There is nothing like inherently wrong, but I think that it's just the craft behind it. If it didn't have like this dog, or there had been like more obvious CGI and stuff, I would have been like 5.5 out of 5.
No, I stand with the 6. Remember, 5 is average. It's better than average, but still, it's not like. I think we agree for the most part.
Yeah, for me, it's like it's not memorable. I will never go into 7 territory because I don't think that there is anything here that is memorable besides the dog in itself.
I'm very curious. I did put it in my calendar. February 1. I'm asking.
Sure,
Sunday at 3 p.m. Do we remember Good
Sure.
Boy? We'll see.
sure. If we keep watching as many movies as we're watching, I'm not going to remember this movie at all.
I'm going to get this reminder in my calendar and be like, I don't even remember what this is about. Delete.
What is a good boy? What are we talking about? Hey, man. Thank you so much for the good conversation. Thank you so much for everyone out there putting out with us.
And until next time, be a good boy.
Bye.